Is First Sergeant Pasco out there? Somewhere. So if these flags start waving and it looks like they're going, you go ahead and get that color guard coming up here. I don't want to have to turn around and try and grab them, okay? Mahalo to all the participants in this 149th observance of Memorial Day, including the Hawaii County Band, the Hilo High School JROTC Color Guard, the Lyman Field Civil Air Patrol Squadron Cadets, the Hawaii National Guard Youth Challenge Academy, and the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts who placed flags on each headstone and distributed programs and poppies. Mahalo as well to our elected and appointed officials present for attending this annual reminder of the price that has been paid for our freedom by those whom we remember and honor today. Thank you to the senior officers and NCOs present for representing our armed services, to include General Ray Gandy, Colonel Deborah Lewis, Master Sergeant Park. Thank you as well to all veterans present for your service. Thank you especially to the veterans of Foreign Wars 3830 and the auxiliary to Post 3830 for allowing me the privilege of speaking on behalf of all here present as we honor our absent companions. And of course, I would be remiss if I failed to mention the veterans of the 100th 442 MIS and those with us from the Yukio Okutsu Veterans Home. Over 1.1 million soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have given their lives for our country since 1775. Today at this ceremony, we remember and honor their courage under fire, their loyalty to their comrades and steadfastness to the ideals of this nation, their commitment to their families and friends, and especially their sacrifice, a sacrifice undergirded by an unyielding sense of duty, an unimpeachable life of honor, and an unwavering love of country. We remember and honor the courage of those awarded the nation's highest decoration for valor, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Of the over 3,500 medals presented since the Civil War, 18% have been awarded posthumously. Since 1941, though, over 60% have been awarded posthumously, including the Medal of Honor awarded to Sergeant First Class Rodney J.T. Yano of Kealakekua for his actions during the Vietnam War. Sergeant First Class Yano was only 26 years old and already the crew chief of the Troop Command and Control helicopter of Air Cav Troop of the 11th ACR. His actions on January 1st, 1969 saved the lives of his crew at the cost of his own life. The Medal of Honor citation lauds Sergeant First Class Yano's indomitable courage and his conspicuous gallantry as he threw blazing ammunition from his helicopter while already severely injured by a prematurely exploding grenade that cost him the use of one arm and partially blinded him. His actions continued to expose himself to the infliction of additional wounds until the danger was past by his actions. Indomitable courage indeed. We remember and honor our West Point classmate, Colonel Dick McAvoy, U.S. Army retired, who manifested loyalty to comrades and steadfastness to our nation's ideals. On August 22, 2015, Dick and two colleagues were killed in Kabul, Afghanistan by a car bomb that was detonated in rush hour traffic near their vehicle. Allow me to quote from our friend and classmate Brett Dalton, who served in Afghanistan with Dick in 2013-2014. Dick McAvoy was a true American hero. He retired a few years ago after almost 3 decades of uniformed service and immediately went back to working in hotspots as a civilian in the U.S. efforts to secure freedom for us and those less fortunate in the world. Dick was leading a large program which trained the Afghan National Police. One day, after a casual lunch, Dick remarked to Brett, "I am doing exactly what I was born to do." Brett continues, "A granite bench sits on the grounds of West Point. On it is inscribed a perfect epitaph for Dick. In the words of Elmer Davis, World War II Director of the Office of War Information, this will remain the land of the free, only so long as it is the home of the brave." To the end of his days, Dick remained loyal to his comrades, who included those of us who knew him as a teenager making his way through the military academy, as well as those whom he worked with to make the hot spots of the world freer and safer. We remember and honor Marion Serva, who died September 11, 2001, in the Pentagon as a result of terrorist attack. Marion was our good friend and an American patriot. A Department of the Army civilian and Army spouse, Marion worked for the Army's G1, or Personnel Directorate. She loved her job and spread joy throughout a building where that ingredient often is in short supply. She understood commitment to family and friends, but more than that, she lived it. In fact, to her, the folks, whether soldiers or civilians in the G1, were her second family, and that meant she was going to do everything she could to help them help soldiers throughout the Army. Marion is officially listed as missing, but much as our airmen or sailors who were lost at sea are also listed as missing, we know the truth. She, as they, died serving our country, her family, and her friends. We remember and honor First Lieutenant Laura Walker, who made the ultimate sacrifice on August 18, 2005, in Delak, Afghanistan, while leading her engineer unit during ground assault convoy operations. Laura Walker was connected to our family on several levels. Her grandfather is a classmate of Deborah's dad, who was here last year during Korean War commemoration events. Deborah was privileged to promote Laura to first lieutenant while both were in the Seattle region, Laura at Fort Lewis and Deborah commanding the Seattle Engineer District. Laura and Deborah were both Corps of Engineers officers. At West Point, in addition to belonging to the class of 2003 that entered in peace, graduated during war, Laura was the team captain for the national champion women's handball team. With two grandfathers who were World War II veterans and living as an Army brat, meaning 10 different schools in 18 different cities in 3 different countries, Laura understood more than most the meaning of duty, honor, country. Perhaps her greatest epitaph, though, was penned by a soldier, someone who was not even in her unit, but saw her leadership and moral fiber firsthand. This sergeant wrote, "I never told you how much you inspired me to be a better person. Your family can be proud of a daughter who served abroad in combat with honor. Thank you for what you have done for your country, your troops, and family and friends." An unyielding sense of duty, an unimpeachable life of honor, and an unwavering love of country, family, and friends. These described Lieutenant Laura Walker to a T. We remember and honor Captain Thomas E. Donnell, who died June 1984 at Fort Meade, Maryland. My friend and basic classmate was the kind of officer we all aspire to be, a natural leader, a man who loved humor, and someone who instinctively knew what to do when nerves got frayed and hands got sweaty. As a lieutenant in the Big Red One in the early 1980s, when the Army was relearning how to be good, he was chosen by his squadron commander to be the scout platoon leader. No big deal for an armor or cav lieutenant, but he was a military intelligence lieutenant. I was at Fort Stewart, he at Fort Riley, and we decided to attend strategic intelligence officer training in Washington, D.C. after our initial assignments. But first, we both had training rotations at the newly opened National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California. Tom came back ill from his rotation, as did many in his unit, with desert fever. Our unit at NTC the next month was fine. Tom did recuperate, but during our first 6 months in DC, as we carpooled together to class, his health progressively deteriorated. I remember holding his brand new daughter in our home in my arms while his wife was with Tom in the hospital during his last days. Tom was 26 years old when he passed away from a brain aneurysm caused by an unknown ailment picked up during training. That was over 30 years ago. He was not killed in combat, but died as a result of training for combat that he surely would have seen in Kuwait, Iraq, or Afghanistan. I am sad but proud that I can honor his sacrifice and the sacrifice of all who have died in the service of our great country. I miss my friend, and I hope that I have honored his memory and his service on this Memorial Day. Mahalo nui loa for helping me to remember and honor all our brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, and friends and family who have guaranteed our liberty in a dangerous world, with the only guarantee that such a world recognizes: a mutual pledge to each other and to us of their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. Let us vow to remember and honor them by keeping that pledge alive this day and every day.